Hey, my beautiful angel, it's Josie Grouse, and welcome to Soul Awakening channel. This video is about an interesting topic. It's about past life connections and allergies. If you are suffering in this lifetime, if you have skin allergies, maybe some inner imbalances, and you're wondering why these issues reoccur over and over again, so watch this video. Now you are a spiritual being having a physical experience, and sometimes your incarnation, the process of incarnation, can bring issues from your past lives. Oftentimes, when you change lifetimes very quickly, you may bring the energy, the memories, information from your immediate life. And also, you may bring some specific physical characteristics that you have experienced in your past life. Now, when we see our existence as if we're here and this is our only life, then you can seek answers with medicine and you'll try to minimize the issues by changing your diet, changing your lifestyle. When you understand that certain things just come because of your past life, then you start to think differently. Then you start to address certain situations differently. And I've seen this over and over again. Now, my child, my daughter, when she was very young, she had severe eczema. So severe that, we had to go through treatments, different creams, antibiotics, God knows what. It was just poor kid. She always, she couldn't sleep. She would scratch herself. And I, as an intuitive, I started to seek answers because it didn't make sense. She was born and she almost from birth had these skin condition. So I started to ask questions. I really started to look deep, especially with my medical background. I could kind of look into the spiritual side of a medical condition that really helped me to connect the dots. It just has been my search, studying medical intuition, studying the relationship between certain conditions, certain physical conditions, and past life experiences. So let me share with you what I've learned. So when you transition from your past life, if you don't have that moment of just clearing, there is a certain reset that can happen between lifetimes. If you didn't get that reset, you may often bring memories into your current lifetime. So these elements could be physical, could be emotional, could be some other issues that you also had a greater degree of significance that you felt were important for you in your past life and you brought them into your current life. So let's look at, say, skin conditions. They could be the eczema, anything related to skin rash, dryness of skin, ongoing. If you feel like my skin is so sensitive, and if you, especially as a child, if you had these situations where you were taken to doctors, medicated, and it's almost like it was an ongoing struggle, it's very likely it's not the reason, but it could be one of the reasons that in the past life there was a death by fire. There was a moment in your past life where you experienced death by fire. So you watched either your body being burned, that happens in some cultures, that cause you to experience certain skin conditions. It could also you have been, died in the fire in some previous lifetime that wasn't too far away. So you still had the memories of that particular lifetime. And if you, by the way, if you sometimes have visions and nightmares of things being burned to the ground, and you hear people screaming, and it's almost like you have high levels of anxiety, high level of separation anxiety, something that was just gone out of your life very quickly. These conditions from your past life experiences were traumatic, and they were so traumatic that you had to bring them into your current lifetime. So now there is no way for us to look into your past life, right? There's no document, there's no movie about your past life. You cannot Google yourself in your past life on the internet. But if you do a past life regression, you will be surprised on how many things will be revealed to you. How many things about your past life that you can recognize your struggles, your painful moments, especially health conditions in this current lifetime. So, fire, death by fire, some just traumatic event that caused burning of the skin. Either you were still conscious when your body was burned, or you could also lived in areas where the air there was so dry. It was dry to the point it literally kind of dried up your body would make sense from the inside. That is also possible that you lived in hotter climates in places where there were just mostly heat. So that also can cause the shifts of frequencies. And in this lifetime, you could be in the normal climate, but you can have severe skin conditions. So I'll do another video on how to address these skin conditions. Today, we're just looking at the causes. Another very common issue that you may be experiencing, sensitivities with digestion. Things like autoimmune disease, Crohn's disease, colitis. It's really common. Why? One of the reasons, if you look back into a past life situation, we can see that there was a lifetime, previous life, not too far away, not too long ago, where you experienced poisoned water. There was something related to poison ingested. Very likely you lived in conditions where sanitation was an issue and water was an issue. And any water that caused you even to lose your life, drinking poisoned water, in places where it's crowded conditions, poor just high rise of disease related to waterborne pathogens and stuff of that nature, drinking that water causing you to um, maybe die of these sort of microbial diseases and pathogens in the past related to the stomach. Like your stomach remembers, your stomach still remembers the painful ingestion of certain poisonous substance. It was just very likely a drinking water. Maybe some conditions that you couldn't control, but they were affecting you. Or maybe you've seen your loved ones die under the same, with the same problem. So that's also something to think about. It's not the absolute truth, but I'm telling you, if you take these situations seriously, especially if you suffer with stomach conditions, you can go back into your past life, or at least to disconnect yourself from the source of that painful lifetime, and then start healing. And you'll see how your healing just dramatically improves with all the other treatments that you have. Understand that the cause of that, the immune condition that was developed from that particular lifetime, was caused by, let's say, poisonous water. Another important issue with allergies that a lot of people experience these days is something to do with breathing conditions. And when you look at the past life origin, if you, let's say, asthma or any other sort of, especially kids suffering these breathing conditions, going almost into shock when it comes to, often just from very early age, experiencing difficulty breathing. That was very likely related to a past life where a person died of either, we'll say, conditions such as pneumonia, okay, epidemics, pandemics of the past, a lot of severe breathing problems. Somebody was really struggling to breathe in the last moments of their lives. Infectious diseases. some other problems living in polluted cities as well. So these conditions can also bring memories into this lifetime. So the person, let's say a child, there's no other reasons for them to experience these ongoing like asthma attacks. Somebody who's just struggling with breathing every now and then, a change in environment, a change in situations, develops higher levels of stress. The person develops these breathing conditions. Now, the origin of these conditions, as I said, is not just in this life. There are past lives where you have died from lack of air, from some condition such as tuberculosis or some other thing related to lungs, and that also creates memories in this lifetime, producing also physical effects. Now, the way for you to deal with your health situation, especially related to allergies, they have no particular cause in this lifetime. It's just something you were born with. Or maybe your family has experienced a certain sensitivity or certain allergy over and over again. But the point is, when you see your life as a continuum, and in certain issues coming from past lives, the moment you start disconnecting from these memories, that's the moment when you start healing. That's the moment that you begin to change your frequency, and you're not sort of pulled from that past life condition is no longer controlling your physiology, because many times what we have today are just like hiccups from the past. Another important thing to consider when it comes to past lives is emotions. Emotional situations, traumas from the past, they come in as waves. And unexpectedly, out of the blue, you may have some kind of like condition where you feel, like I'm feeling so stiff. My body could be autoimmune disease, stuff like MS and so on. It's just like almost the body is eating itself on the inside. There's like this attack on the body by its own cells. Now, that's again looking deeper, has origin started in past lives. And there's so much to talk about in this one area of autoimmune diseases, especially if you were from early childhood have had these ongoing sensitivities and conditions. It's very likely in the past life there was a lifetime spent in a very destructive emotion, mostly anger. Anger is that heat, that fire turning inwards, like literally eating away its own tissues. And that anger wasn't processed. That anger could be related to people, to life in general, maybe related to the body. And that emotion, the destructive force of the emotion was so strong that you could not just release it and drop it. And reincarnating quickly into another body almost by default has brought these ongoing issues. And in this case, if you have autoimmune disease and it feels like I don't know why, but I'm struggling, I am really struggling in this lifetime, things like forgiveness directed to someone in the past, not even in this lifetime. You have no idea what happened in the past. All you know is that you're paying for something in this life. And the only thing is just when you have that level of awareness, you're not energizing your disease and saying, okay, that's who I am. I'm always struggling with this. Understand, okay, there is an origin of this that happened, God knows, maybe previous lifetime, maybe a few lifetimes ago, but it did happen. And when you see things this way, then you can start healing on a very different level. Then you can start experiencing healing, maybe gradually, but you're no longer connected to that source, to the cause of that problem in the past. And changing your relationship with the past life is going to change how you feel in the moment, for sure. Okay, another thing I wanted to bring up, I know it may not always be on point, but in the visions, I did see it's not really the allergy, but if you let's say you have baldness, going bald and losing hair, especially on the head, that is also has, believe it or not, some kind of a spiritual significance, and it's very much related to the past life. So I've seen this a number of times when I could see that person with the boldness, having no hair on the head, and it's kind of a genetic condition, but it also related to some position of authority when you were wearing hats, whether religious hats or some kind of scholar kind of hats, but a hat was a sign of significance for you. Wearing that hat on your head somehow put a lot of energy and significance and importance. That memory continues on. That memory is still with you, whether you are in this lifetime or having power struggles or whatever. But in the past, you did have few lifetimes when the position of authority was related to what you were wearing on your head, with all kinds of either religious apparatus or any other types of things that you put on your head. All right, you guys, something fun to think about as well, to leave our conversation today on a fun note. But also remember that certain things in your lifetime you cannot control because you don't know where they started. But if you struggle in this lifetime, and there's certain physical conditions in this lifetime that you are still, they are ongoing, and the traditional medicine cannot address that, cannot fully heal that, then you need to look into your past life, whether to do past life regression, whether actually assume that it does come from a past life and start healing that past life, whatever it was. Remember, on the spirit level, there is no time. So you can go back in time, you can go forward in time, you can direct healing, love, and light to your past life self, because the soul knows. So when you make peace with something in your past life, you will see how these issues, these health conditions, begin to deteriorate and then subside. And there's a lot less severity to them. And it's also by doing that, you stop the spread of that memory. So it's almost like passing on that memory to the next generation of your kids, generation of those around you who are affected by your condition. So you can do that. I hope this was helpful. I love you guys. Let me know in the comments below if this subject is interesting, and if you have any conditions that you feel like, okay, I feel this is my past life connection, let me know in the comments below. Always love to read your comments. If this is your first time on this channel, be sure to subscribe and share. Love you guys. I'll chat with you in the next video.